for the pandemic, and I've really seen the government take huge strides in the support that it provides our startups. After all, a founder's chance of success is not just dependent on their skill. It's not just dependent on how smart they are, but it's also dependent on the help and support that they receive from the government of the country that they call their home. So we'd like to invite on stage Mr. Antolino Mauricio to give his governmental keynote.
Hello, nice seeing you all on a Thursday evening. My name is Anton, and if you saw the picture earlier, that's how I looked before I joined government. That's how I look now. I'm a bigger man than I used to be. So I'm more of a man than I used to be. I admire you guys. You have gumption, you have cojones to start your own business. Be prepared to fail. Of course, hope for the best, expect the worst. My qualification that is relevant to you is not because I'm an undersecretary of government, but it's because I have been a founder of several startups myself, and none of them succeeded. So now I just work for government and try to pose as an expert judging all of you. I am not qualified, So I wake up every day thinking that I will be found out for the poser that I am. I hope that broke the ice. The NDC, best kept secret in government. How old do you think the NDC is? Pretty woman in red.
I don't know.
There is another woman in red. So yeah.
Okay, 7 years?
7 years? Okay, that's one. How about
Google.
Mr. Glazer? How old do you think the NDC is? National Development Company.
First time I've heard of it.
Anything that comes into your mind, though. 30 years, okay. And last, don't know if you're Filipino or American guy. But yeah, he knows. So I'm not gonna ask you. I'm not gonna ask you. He knows. Yes, ma'am. More than 100. Oh, done your research. We're 105 years old. We are the oldest government investment company that you've never heard of. We are the oldest GOCC, government-owned and controlled corporation outside of the Philippine Post Office and the Boy Scouts of the Philippines. And why am I here talking to founders and startups? Because we are the only identified by law, RA 11337, government support for the ecosystem. We manage the Startup Venture Fund. Okay? So the government actually invests in startups. And how many have you invested so far? 3. That's so hard, and I'll tell you why. Next slide, please. Oh, next slide. It's not voice activated. Where does it go? Sorry, Tito moment. No? How do you click? Yes. There. Okay. Yun. Okay. So, I'm gonna rush through these slides. If you want it, it's ndc.gov.ph, or you can contact me. We are the oldest government company. What makes us different from the other GOCCs? Since we are older than the Republic, which started in 1946, and as a national development company, basically, we can go through anything. We can invest in diverse industries. Unlike national power corporations invest in power, national oil, which invest in oil, we can invest in anything, and we have. And this is my board. Well, until tomorrow, my boss is Secretary Fred Pascual. And so imagine, Imagine all my approvals go to 5 cabinet members, the head of the central bank, the head of the board of investments, the chairman of the EBP, a private sector representative, and myself. Again, picture before I joined government. Next. In fact, in 5 years, we've only invested in 120 companies. That's not a lot. But we have invested so many pioneering things. Planted pineapples in Mindanao, then turned them over to Dole and Del Monte, Lulin Bananas. We own National Power Corporation, Philippine National Construction Corporation, National Steel Corporation, you name it. Lots of the roads and bridges, mining companies, a lot. Okay? A lot. So, why? Because we were the only company doing that at the time. But now we're a small company because government is bigger. And so, now, we are just supporting MSMEs and startups and gaps that the government doesn't do. So, we are an ISO certified company for all our investment activities. So, basically, what do? 5 things: equity investment, project financing, asset management, fund management, and support services. Are we a sovereign wealth fund? Well, yes, we are. The Startup Venture Fund is a sovereign fund, it's a wealth fund, and we manage it by law. Our criteria for investment has to be, the project or business has to be pioneering, developmental, sustainable, inclusive, and innovative. And here are our priority areas: health, connectivity, even if it's infrastructure connectivity or any kind of connectivity, water, technology, innovation, education, food supply chain. Climate change mitigation includes energy, so we have waste to fuel, construction. Okay. We have our existing funds are the Startup Venture Fund and our General Fund, and we plan to put up new funds soon. And these are our proposed sub-funds: our Cyber Tech Fund, FinTech Fund, Agri-Tech Fund, Climate Tech Fund, Halal Fund, and Health Tech Fund. Okay. So these funds eventually are going to be investing in projects and startups and incorporated joint ventures, like maybe one of your companies in the future. Our ongoing projects, again, the Startup Venture Fund, we need a co-investment partner to invest with from the private sector. Right now, our accredited co-investment partners are Kaya, Foxconn, Realtech, Ideaspace, Cubo, Gobi. Did I miss anybody? Realtech, did I say? ICCP Ventures, SBI. Yeah. Alright. We have a Philippine e-commerce platform, Philippine Artificial Intelligence Resource Initiative to support the government's NCARE, that's the AI Research Center. Startup Venture Fund headquarters. So this is the Philippine Innovation Hub. Our Chief Innovation Officer is here. I just came from Marikina. We're gonna have our building there, and we're gonna expand. Bakit ganito to? Here. Yeah. Next month September, we're gonna sign an MOU. They're preparing a Philippine Innovation Hub office in Singapore Management University and also Murdoch University. So if you go to Singapore, there is a place where you can go to that will accommodate you. You can have meetings there. You can make it a meeting place for potential partners. Why? Because we like Singapore, it's a hotbed of venture capital, private equity, partners, technology transfer. And then we're welcoming startups from all over the Philippines. I just came last week from Batak, where we're going to put an innovation hub in Mariano Marcos State University, and also in Cebu and these places across the country. Why? It's not all about Metro Manila. What will the innovation hub do? It's just a meeting place where we'll connect them to our command center in Makati and give them the guidance that they need. Okay? Right. So, innovation projects, our innovation park in Alabang. It's 18 hectares in Alabang. If you know Alabang Zapote Road beside Molito, there's a area there that's the size of Eastwood. That's ours. Innovation Center, it's beside Circuit. If you know Makati Circuit, we have a park, 1.8 hectare property near it with a boardwalk. We're going to put beside the Pasig River. It's going to be really nice. And Innovation Gateway in Macapagal. We're going to put up a cancer hospital there. And the other one, a hotel. And satellite tower in North Avenue, that's across Trinoma. We're going to put a 50-story satellite tower there. And we have a port in Torreon, Davao City. It's 25 hectares. It's kind of what we do. Our largest ecozone is in Leyte Industrial Development Estate. But we're developing a smaller green industrial estate in... so if you're startups, maybe you're looking for a location like manufacturing, maybe you can put it here. You know, it's only 19.2 hectares, but we're probably going to expand it to another 40 hectares in Dasmariñas, Cavite. There's a video I'm not going to show you. It's not enough time. And Davao Thermobiotech, Davao Thermobiotech, basically it's, do you know Francis Estrada? No? Right? Used to be president of the Asian Institute of Management. He's the chairman of this company. It's owned by the family that owns Malagos. You know Malagos, cheese and chocolates from Davao. Really good. Anyway, so they have a composting facility. So bio-waste, it becomes organic fertilizer. Alright, so we invested there. We want to be able to scale it here in Manila. So we invested there. I'm on the board. That's and then recently, actually this morning I was in Manila Health Tech. It's gonna be our first health tech investment for the pioneering first molecular biotechnology devices manufacturing company. It's the first in the Philippines. So they do diagnostic kits for COVID, swine flu, avian flu. That's better than anywhere else in the world, and it was developed by Filipino scientists. So we're supporting Filipino inventions, and that's going to be exported. So the first building is going to be in Marikina, but we're looking at a 10-hectare property in Clark. We're going to expand there. Okay? Support Filipino startups and investors. All right? I'm not going to show you the video. We're purchasing broadband capacity. Okay. Internet. If you don't have electricity, you don't have an internet connection, not a lot of the startups, can work. So what we do is, we think that we're gonna have to compete in the future for bandwidth, and we're gonna compete with other countries. So what I did was I negotiated with the satellite company to pre-purchase the bandwidth and then sell it to the DICT for the outlying areas. They call it the GDAS, the geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas. So, and then we get it in bulk, so get it cheaper, and then below market, and then we sell it to them. It's still cheaper, and then they can, offer Wi-Fi access to the government hospitals, clinics, LGUs, schools, Alright? So that's the kind of thing, the stuff that NDC does. Blowing your mind that the government is doing these things. Di pala nakwenta yung government, no? Galing. So, bago kayo mag-criticize, mag-research. Southeast Asian Biosecurity Institute. You know those movies where like a monkey gets out and then the world turns to zombies? Yeah. So that's usually from institutes like this. And we don't have one in the Philippines. So we're gonna have one and have all the other countries like the ones who don't have yet, Cambodia, Laos, mga ganon. So instead of kumasto sila doon sa country nila, makisosyo na lang kayo dito sa Philippines. We're using Australian technology. And then we're gonna do that. So our it's like a bunch of scientists who we need this lab here. I'm not a science person myself, but we really need this. Okay, so yeah, so it's gonna cost 350 million US dollars. So we're just gonna do the seed funding. Okay, no video for that. Actually, meron. This is my best project so far. Unsegregated waste without materials recovery facility, so solid waste management. You put it in a. You know what? I'm gonna play this video. Because it will take longer for me to explain it. Ano ba ito? Click? I hope it works. Huh? Click again. Ano ba yun? Baka talagang fake link siya. Sige, explain ko na lang. Unsegregated waste, you put it in a cyclone machines like a giant washing machine, less temperature with enzymes, and it becomes fuel. And eventually, from these, it will be calibrated, distilled into a sustainable aviation fuel or SAF. It's great. Huh? So, ano nangyari? Okay. So, bottom line, the government and DC is doing so much of these things. We have a fund, it's not a lot, it's $500 million pesos. We're getting another billion, and we want to be able to fund startups like yourselves and eventually MSMEs. It's tough. To support the ecosystem, it's okay. Kaya pa ba? One last try. Parang kay John Lloyd.
One more chance.
One more chance.
One more chance.
Oh.
At least, idea tayo. Hindi ka pala ganun kabata. So, sorry. Okay. So,
You're flirting with her.
I think that, yes. Talaga? Oh, sige. You know, I'll show this one video for you guys. Go. You can just play it. Thank you.